Have you ever looked at someone who just gets math and thought, what is their secret? It's a question that's probably crossed all of our minds at some point. Well, today, we're not just wondering. We're going to break down the anatomy of mathematical excellence and lay out the 8 key differences that really separate the top scorers from everyone else. So, let's dive in. You know that feeling? You're staring at a problem and it looks like it's written in a totally different language. And then the person next to you just scribbles down the answer like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's so tempting to just think, wow, they were just born with a math brain, right? But is that really what's going on?
Well, here's the good news. The research gives us a really clear and honestly super empowering answer. Nope. Superior math skill isn't some genetic lottery ticket you either have or you don't. It's a set of specific, totally learnable habits. It's not about the brain you were born with. It's about the one you decide to build. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the foundation. This is all about how the best students think about math, way before they even put a pencil to paper. It's a fundamentally different approach right from the get-go. Check out this distinction right here. It's all about the why versus the how. See, most students get really focused on memorizing the steps to solve a problem. That's the how. But toppers, they need to know why those steps work in the first place. That deeper understanding gives them this flexible knowledge that doesn't just fall apart the second a question is worded a little differently. And this difference in thinking leads directly to how they attack problems. Instead of immediately jumping into the numbers, top students actually take a moment to visualize it. They'll sketch it out, look for patterns, and this is so important. They see the connections between different math topics. They see how algebra and geometry can be two sides of the same coin, while for a lot of us, they're just separate, isolated chapters in a textbook. So what happens when they face a really tough problem, something they've never seen before? The average scorer might just freeze up, right? It feels like hitting a brick wall. But a top performer, they see it as a puzzle. Their first instinct is to break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. It's the difference between a planned attack and just pure panic. Okay, so we've seen how they think. Now, let's talk about what they actually do. This next part is all about strategic action, because as the saying goes, it's not just about practicing more. It's about practicing a whole lot smarter. This right here is a complete game changer. Think about it. Most people practice the things they're already good at because, well, it feels good. It's comfortable. Top students do the exact opposite. They deliberately hunt for their weaknesses and they attack them head on. They use timers, mix up the difficulty, they train like it's the real deal. It's tough, for sure, but man, is it effective. And a huge part of practicing smarter is how you think about your mistakes. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? For a top student, getting a question wrong isn't something to be embarrassed about. It's a clue. It's a roadmap that shows them exactly where they need to focus their attention next. So how do they use that data from their mistakes? Well, they have a system. First, they analyze their errors to find patterns. Was it a simple calculation mistake or a deeper misunderstanding of a concept? Second, a lot of them keep a dedicated error notebook or log to track these things. And third, and this is so crucial, they don't just move on and forget about it. They come back to those same questions later until they've absolutely mastered them. All right, let's pull the camera back a bit and look at the engine that's powering all of this. These methods and strategies don't just happen in a vacuum. They are fueled by a consistent mindset and daily habits, the stuff that keeps them going for the long haul. Think of it this way. You wouldn't try to build a house in one single frantic weekend, would you? The same logic applies to understanding math. Cramming everything the night before a test is like trying to pour a foundation in a hurricane. Top students get this. They work in short, regular, consistent bursts. It gives their brain time to absorb, to revise, and to really lock in those concepts. And what's going on emotionally? It's like night and day. High achievers work with what's called a growth mindset. They truly believe they can get better at math through effort. This is what keeps them calm. On the other hand, many others have a fixed mindset, the idea that you're either a math person or you're not. So the moment a tough problem shows up, that belief sends them straight into panic mode. And that proactive attitude doesn't just stop at their desk. In the classroom, they don't let a tiny little question mark fester and grow into a giant fog of confusion. They ask for help right away. And notice the difference here. They're not just trying to get the answers so they can finish their homework. They are fighting to truly understand the concept for good. So we've looked at the foundation, the method, and the mindset. Now, let's put it all together. Let's look at the actual blueprint for excellence that emerges when you combine all 8 of these key differences. Honestly, if you only remember one thing from this whole discussion, make it this. This single line from our source material just sums it all up perfectly. It's the difference between building something solid, brick by brick, versus relying on a house of cards. One is built to last, the other is pretty much destined to collapse under pressure. So here you have it, your actionable blueprint. These are the principles you can literally start using today. Always seek out the why. Turn your mistakes into your greatest teachers. Practice with intention. Choose consistency every single time. And most importantly, believe that your ability is something you build, not something you're just born with. So the real question isn't if you can get better at math, it's how you're going to start. Looking at this blueprint right here, which one of these powerful habits are you going to start building first?